This little wallet shaped thing here that you can see is something I've had since I was about 10 or 11 years old. It was a gift from my dad. My parents weren't together. He told me this was coming, and he wasn't amazingly reliable as a person or as a father. So I went home at lunchtime from school. It was a mile each way. So I hoofed it home every day for about a week after he told me this thing was coming. And nothing. Every day, nothing. And as it happened a few times before, I gave up. And then, amazingly, this appeared in our letterbox shortly after I'd hoped it would. It was a birthday present from him. And you can't really see, but you can see just a little flick of gold there, maybe. It used to say AKS, which are my initials. I found this the other day. We moved house in November, and it's June now. And I have an office that's going to be part of the house, but it hasn't been set up for internet yet, so we haven't moved in. So there's a lot of boxes downstairs that some of which I've carried around for a long time and haven't really gone through. But I found this, and it brought back an awful lot of memories of early days of playing video games. We didn't have a lot of money. My mother raised us on her own. So a lot of the other kids, they would bring to school in the early to mid-80s, they would bring these little game calculators with games like 8 Attack, which I thought was amazing, and Space Invaders, which now I've looked up and doesn't seem to really be called Space Invaders. It's more popular or famous for being a musical calculator. Another friend of mine later on had a baseball one. These were all Casio calculators. So someone at Casio must have had a brainwave and got a bit of clout within the company and pitched them and said, hey, let's do this range of game calculators. So despite not having a huge amount of money, and despite an unreliable distant father, somehow I got this for my birthday. It's the Casio BG15 boxing calculator. There is a BG15T. All that I've found online about that is that it has a different graphic overlay. But it's quite a tidy little unit. And it still looks like it's in reasonable condition. So what I thought I would do is, obviously it doesn't work. And I'm hoping that I, at some point in the past, took out the batteries. Let's open it up. I've bought some batteries. See if it goes, and see what condition it's like inside. It still feels quite sturdy, although I've noticed that it does have quite a substantial bend in the side. So the whole thing is, I'm not sure if you can see there, it's bowed there. Yeah, but it's in pretty good nick. I think it's not too discoloured. I think it would shine up okay. But the first thing we want to do is get into it. I think I'm being a little careful, but I'm more excited to get into it than to take a huge amount of time doing that in a neat way. For a kid like me to have something like this was quite a thing. Because, as I said, we didn't have a lot of money. This is the sort of thing that other kids had. And I loved video games. I still do. So that's the back of it. BG15. It's got some pen marks here from something. It's got quite an indentation here, and it looks like I've had quite a good go at the screws over the years, probably with some screwdrivers that didn't quite match. So let's hope the screws are still screwable. That corner there looks like it's the most damaged. The coating is damaged. It's quite sharp, especially on that corner. And yeah, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's quite a bend in there, but we can give it a try. These things were not things to hold on to. The retro gaming thing, as I've come to know it, it's pretty recent, and these seem to go for about 200 New Zealand. So what's that? Well, that seems to be unscrewing okay, pretty easily actually. Maybe there's no screw on the inside. They go for about 200 New Zealand on eBay, which is probably, I don't know, £100 sterling, or God, I don't even know what the exchange rate for the US is at the moment. Maybe like 160 US. Right, well, that was easy. That's come away far too easily, but that's the inside of it. So yeah, I had taken the batteries out, as you can see, which is just as well, because they would have done all sorts of bad things to it over the years. But it looks like it's in pretty good nick, I think. Let's move those over there. Not any real corrosion that I can see, although there's this plastic plate covering most of the hardware. I might see if I've got a jeweler's screwdriver. There's this that I remember actually. This we'll see what that is, but my guess is that you can put the batteries in, but it doesn't really fire until this little switch here connects to the plate. There's a little spring here that's bent. I'm not sure if you can see that. The little spring is bent. So I'm not sure what that is, and I'm not going to try and... It still sort of works. So let's just see. Might just... there are 6 screws here. Let's just pull them off and have a wee look. This is the first time in my life that I've kind of had the right tools for jobs like this. So this Phillips screwdriver was obviously a bit too big, but I wouldn't have forced those screws. This jeweler's screwdriver hopefully should just... It's a little bit too big. It doesn't come away too badly though. So I inherited my friend's baseball calculator because, as I said, these things, they held very little value. Once the sort of fad had passed. I'm not sure what the baseball ones are worth these days. I've still got it downstairs somewhere with all my other retro game stuff. But it did have a bit of a cracked screen in it. Oh, there's one in the middle. There we go. Let's grab that. Come on. Maybe if I just lift that off carefully. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Wow, so I'm guessing that's a speaker. And it's held there with just 2 wires. So that's hopeful. That suggests that maybe the board's, the sound still works. This gives me access to that spring. If I can lie that flat. No, not quite. That's amazing. What sturdy little wires those must be. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to pull it apart any further. Let me very gently, see if I can ease that back into where it lives. The point, actually, sorry, I'll pull this off again. It's in really good condition inside. There's no corrosion at all. So I'm very hopeful that if we stick some batteries inside this, it'll go. This is the time we're having massive fingers. Not even massive, but Oh, massive fingers does not help. So after saying that it's the first time in my life I have the right tools, this is too big. So it got them off, these little ones here, and it just took a while to put them back on. And I wanted to be careful because I didn't want to munt any of the screws any more than they have been. But you can see that it's in pretty good shape inside, which is quite good for something that's lived in boxes and hadn't been hidden away for so long. I'm sure I've got it out before, but I can't remember when. Right, so these are, what are they? Just Duracell, Energizer cells. And let's see what happens when we stick them in. Pretty sure they're the right ones. Good. That's a good sound, isn't it? Just for the surprise, I'm going to do the backup. Now, one thing I've noticed is that at the top here, these two little metal clips, but they are pretty much, they've disintegrated. So it doesn't clip on like it's supposed to. It's supposed to sort of clip on there, and you screw it down the two holes. But it's not that great at doing that. But that beep was pretty cool. Yes, you might be able to see in there that it's supposed to clip on there, but just doesn't seem to. Put in these. I'm excited to see this game. I have not seen it for a long time. I don't remember being much good at it. In saying that though, oh no, there's quite a bit of bite on that one. That's good. I'm going to have to do something about that top. In saying that though, I think I could get 2 or 3 rounds in. So there's quite a bit of bite on both those screws, but as you can see from the top, it doesn't quite clip on. Anyway, the reveal. And it's going. Let's put it onto game. I'm the guy on the right. Wow. I don't remember ever using the. Oh wow! What a game! I don't remember ever using the dodge, which is that. Oh, good stuff, Simpson. Ah, saved by the round. Got him. This plays really well. It's really, those buttons are really super responsive, and it feels fast. See how fast I'm going up and down? I'm wasting this guy. He's out. He's out. Yeah. Oh, knockout with a blow to the stomach. Yeah, he's saved by the bell. No. There we go. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. That's great. Okay, so it must be round 2 then, eh? Wasted him too. Maybe I used to be able to get further than round 3 because I seem to be just caning these guys. Wasted. Wasted. Right, round 3. Oh, is that how it works? Ooh. And you can see the ropes. The ropes change depending on which part of the ring you're in. Ooh, this is quite a fight this round. Crikey. He's ahead of me. Great sound this has got. I hope you can hear it. It's really crisp, really loud, but it did have quite a large speaker in the bottom of it. Wow, now this is a fight. This is, come on. Oh, this is great. What an amazing game. Well. So I won that round. The punch button off the up and down button is not amazingly quick. So maybe there's a contact I need to clean there. Come on. Surely. Boom. But the just the mechanics of this are just wonderful. I often find it's simple games with few mechanics working well are worth more in terms of your entertainment. There we go. Nice. Than more complex games. You know, like games with heaps of mini games. Essentially, heaps of mini games are not as great as something like this that has a really gripes. Round 4. Box of 4. That has very simple mechanics that work really well. And similarly, I always loved the arcade game WWF WrestleFest, the Royal Rumble part. Very simple, not too many moves. Everything worked really well. And probably like this, a really simple game to pick up, but I bet this is blimmin' hard to master. Like I bet you can probably get to, this round quite a few times, but there'll be a level where the guy gets, your opponent gets really tough. And saying that, I'm cleaning up here. And I still haven't really used, let's see if we can use the sway, it's called. Oh no, he's picking, I should probably pay attention really. Oh no, he's coming back. I noticed that there's no energy, so I'm just throwing punches as much as I want. There's no fatigue. Oh, crikey. Come on. This is great. I can't believe how well this works. It's really exciting. Oh, no. So it's been sitting in boxes for the majority of its life. I got it when I was 10 or 11. Probably about 84, I reckon. 84, 85 maybe. And so it's 30, 35 years, is it? It's been sitting in boxes, and this is the condition it's in. Did I just... Oh. Now, this guy's going to clean me up. Look at this. Oh, that was quite good. See that? Oh. It scares the shit out of me. When they have a couple of really good combos? I'm really liking this. I think it's... Yeah, there's not a lot of documentation about these games, so it's hard to know what sort of development they had. There's not a lot of documented history either, so, I haven't seen any interviews with the people behind them. And they were quite a short series. They were really popular. The boxing, what was there? The boxing, baseball, what we call Space Invaders, and 8 Attack. All came out within 2 or 3 years of each other. And then disappeared, and calculator games didn't really survive as a thing. And I guess that was because, video game systems were coming in. The Atari 2600 had been out for a few years, and the 7800. It was probably within a couple of years of this that I got my first Atari 800 XL. So Commodores, 64s were coming out, and VIC-20s would have been out. Oh, here we go. So maybe there was just this little brief glimmer where things like this were a bit of an opportunity, and I guess they probably in the end failed in the market, because or else they would have made them for longer, and they would have made new ones and different ones. You had the calculator, the Game Watch, you know, Nintendo did Game Watches, and there was a few other different brands of them. Bandai did some. So maybe also they were a bit more exciting. I read a thing earlier about suggesting that these were, or I knew these were really popular in New Zealand. I'm not sure how popular they were overseas, but suggesting that you could disconnect the speaker so you could play it in class. And as we've seen, you can do that. You know, it's just those two wires. It'd be interesting, well, to see what happens if you disconnect the speaker with one of those wires and if it still runs. I'm guessing it would. I'm guessing that speaker's not in some kind of series circuit. I don't know much about electronics, but it'd be a blooming tragedy if you were a kid and you thought, I'd disable the speaker, cut the wire, and the whole thing didn't work. I'm still doing pretty well, I think. Might be onto something here. So I think this is who's won the round. I think this is what round it is. I don't know what that number is in the middle. See how it's counting? 11, 12, 13. So I'd be interested to find out what that's about. The left and right numbers are clearly our health. The next test of this calculator will be to see if it can still add up numbers. Which let's make the assumption now that it can. And also we should have a look and see what year it is. Come on. I'm really just playing now until someone beats me. I can't believe how well I'm doing. I wonder if you can beat this game, or if it just gets harder and harder and harder. I'm just hammering this guy now. Ooh. I love that punch where he kind of hits you and you sort of counter. And I haven't tried to time any of this. I'm not that good, and I've never been good with combos either. So I'm just giving it what for. From what I remember, actually, you can tell how buggered the other guy is by how much he goes back when you hit him. So I'm going back 3 panels there. He's only going back 2, which is strange because I'm. There we go. He's going back 3 now. I'm ahead of him. Like I've got more health than him. Maybe that's where the fatigue comes in. Ooh. He got a good couple of shots there, didn't he? Right into the old bread basket. Oh no, that's the first time I've been knocked down. I hope this is as exciting for you as it is for me. I can't believe this is working so well. It's great. Come on. Oh, it's pretty close, this one, actually, isn't it? Ah, see, that wasn't that responsive. There we go. Could go either way. Ooh, saved by the bell. Someone was. Here we go. This could be the one. Someone's going down here. Oh no. And I'm not sure if you can get yourself up. I think that's probably it. He got me. It's out. Alright, I don't know if you've got one of these, but see if you can beat my score. 3,652 and 5 opponents. What a blimmin' awesome game that is. Now let's have a look at the time. I wonder if it's got the date. No, but it doesn't have the date, but it's got an alarm feature. Cool. Alright, thanks for watching. Very, very happy with that. And do this again soon. I've got a couple of others that we might have a bash with.